Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel today for another video on Gran Turismo Sport. We're back with a new week of daily racing on GT, and yet we're starting off with daily race A at Kyoto. It's the short version of the Kyoto track, driving the Mazda touring cars, and for this round it's actually got more power than usual. I think normally it's N200. This is actually N300, which I think is a bit more powerful because it definitely feels like it's got a little bit more horsepower. So standing start, let's see what happens in this daily race 8. Starting from the back of the grid, TC on level 1, it does actually help you get a pretty good start. So yeah, starting with TC on 1, and away we go into turn 1. So I'm going to stay to the right hand side, obviously, because I've started on the right hand side. And I'm going to keep it nice and tight to the apex as much as we can all the way through this long right hand corner. We can see we get a little bit of contact from the car on the left, not really giving us much space there. We make sure we give him space on the exit there though, and we're working our way now into this very tricky section. Now this race is going to be absolute chaos this week because this car is a little bit trickier to drive with a little bit more power, and people are all over the place. Now we go for a little bit of a lunge there, we brake a bit too late, and yeah, we come into contact with P9. Luckily P9 stays on the track and he's in the middle of this absolute chaos that is going on. We've got free wires, contact everywhere, and this is going to be a very chaotic week. We've got a car on the inside that's just got a really good run from that corner, although he did cut the corner to do it, and he's picked up half-second penalty, but he'll probably take that because it's gained him about 5 positions. But we're going up the inside now, and we're going to stay tight to his apex as much as we can. We've got the inside line. We get pushed outside by Scorpion there, and we've been pushed all the way out to the outside, so we're going to lose a few positions here. But this week you're going to have to get your shoulders out on this race. You really do. You can't be overly generous to people because this is chaos. This week is going to be chaos on daily race A, and it's probably going to be quite entertaining if you've got a second account. But I would, if I was you, I would stay away from it on your main account because this has got potential to be absolute mayhem as we decide to back out of that corner. Because a little bit of advice, going 2x2 through that section is very likely going to give you a penalty. So when I'm on the right hand side, I'll back out. If I'm on the left hand side, I'll carry on because I feel like it's a car on the right that needs to really back out. So I backed out of that. And again, we're still in this race. We're in P10. We're nearly 5 seconds behind the leaders already, which is quite a long distance. However, like I say, this race is quite chaotic, so it's very likely that that lead group are going to battle, and we might be able to catch back up in this race. So we've got a group of cars here involved, about 5 or 6 cars in this battle, and P9 goes a little bit wide there. We're going to take the inside line, and then we're going to try and go up the inside line of the driver on our left there. Well, we're going side by side through this corner. Again, I'm going to back out of this because you see me lift off the throttle because we're on the right hand side, and I always feel if you're side by side through there in that situation, it's always best to back out when you're on the right hand side because it will just end in disaster if you go through there side by side. So yeah, we lift out of that one, and now we're going through this long right hand corner after another car died on that corner, possibly through the same thing as what I've just been saying there, going side by side through the corner. So yeah, up into P8, we've still got a chance. We gained over a second on that lap though to the leaders, so the leaders are obviously having quite a bit of a battle here. You can see, we can now see the gap. There's not much of a gap between, I think it's P4 and P3 there, so they actually look like they're picking up the slipstream from the lead group. We got a penalty for a car up ahead, and we're just in the slipstream now, just trying to take it nice and easy. Keep our eye out. There's a car that's just gone off there. P6 goes a little bit of a funny line through there. We get quite a good run. We had to kind of back out of it though, but we are going to get the run on the outside. Now we're going to have to go to the right here to make space for us, so we have to squeeze the car on our right over a bit, otherwise we would have hit straight into the car in front of us. And now we're going to try and go around the outside and leave space on the inside for the drivers that are on our right hand side. So you can see P5 got the run there. The yellow Mazda though doesn't get a very good exit. We've got a better exit, so we're going to go up into P6 here now and working our way forward. So fast forwarding the action for a little bit here as we're just in the slipstream, not really much going on. We're just trying to stay with the group, but what you can see is we're getting closer to that lead battle, so we are going to be involved hopefully with the battle for the win here. So into the final corner, we're going very wide, cut back on the inside, we get a nice entry into the corner. We managed to give ourselves a bit of space there, and now we're on the right hand side, and this time we're a little bit further ahead, so I think he actually backed out of that corner, and we're up into P5. Now up ahead you can see there's a little bit of chaos going on. It looks like there's a car all the way to the right hand side, and he's going to have a really weird entry into this corner. So yeah, there's probably going to be more contact up there. So again, try and keep it as close to this inside as possible. Stay in 4th gear, do not go down to 3rd gear, and then just get on the power as early as you can on the exit of the corner and work your way into the final sector. So again, we're coming up to the final lap now, so this is where it's all probably going to kick off. You can see we've got quite a good run here. So a car on the left, the yellow Mazda is in the grass. That's another position gain. We're going to go to the left-hand side. However, as he rejoins, I think there's a bit of contact with the white Mazda behind us. I go to the left and stay to the left just in case they come up the inside and hit us. But we managed to hold on to P4, and then into the final corner, there's a little bit of a loss of speed and momentum from the car on the left there, the other yellow Mazda. And now we've got the run up the inside. So we've got the position here. We're going to stay to the left and then tuck up the inside here. Nicely done. Up into P1 from this Daily Race A and starting from the back of the grid. So it's actually been quite a good race. Now we've just got to try and hold on to it. But look in the mirror at the chaos that's going on behind us. We've got 3 wides, 2 wides going on behind us. If we can just hold on to this now, we should be okay. Just keep it nice and smooth through this corner. Be careful on the curb on there. Make sure you brake just before the start of the curb on the left hand side there. Down to second gear, back up to third gear to get that short shift and nice smooth exit. You can see it's all kicked off behind us, and we're going to take a nice comfortable win in this Daily Race A. So yeah, we got away with that one from the back of the grid. Nice and comfortable. We're going to take the win. And yeah, quite entertaining. Now this race is going to be one of them weeks where you're going to have really fun races and really frustrating races, because you are going to have to get a little bit aggressive if you want to get your results in this race, because like I say, this track tends to lend itself to quite aggressive driving, and it's going to happen this week on Daily Race A. Next up, we have Interlagos in Group 3 on the Racing Medium tyres, and this is Daily Race B for the 1000th time. Again, I will do this for this video, but I'm very unlikely to do this much streaming because I might do a couple of races. But yeah, we've had this combination so many times. There's so many better combinations they could have as a Daily Race B. It does get a little bit frustrating, but it is enjoyable. It's Group 3, it's Interlagos. It's always going to be pretty fun race. I like the track, I like the cars around here, but it is used a little bit too much in my view. So yeah, we managed to do 1 lap in time trial before we started this. Managed to put myself in P3, so I am very rusty at the start of this race. You can see as well as my driving not the best and not really that fast at the start, because I'm just trying to get used to the combination, get back used to the speed that you do in Group 3. We're just trying to stay with Blue Racer at the moment. The Supra is the better car for this, although the RCZ should be able to compete round here, especially when you've got a slipstream. The RCZ is actually quite strong. Obviously with tyre wear off though, the Supra is probably the best car, I would think. There is probably a couple of other cars that you can go around here and compete with as well though, because the BOP on this track is actually very, very good. You will find the BOP is pretty equal round Interlagos in Group 3. But at this stage of the race, we're just trying to stay with Blue Racer, get in his slipstream and see if we can go for a move. Now, one thing, the RCZ is actually pretty decent in a slipstream, so if we can get the run on him, we might be able to get a move. And if he loses a slipstream, which it looks like he's actually lost it there, so working our way down the straight, we're going to pick up that slipstream to Blue Racer and get into that 6th gear in the RCZ, which is actually pretty strong when you're in a slipstream. So we're going to go to the left-hand side, try and brake as late as we can, and we manage to slow it down really nicely, hooking the apex up pretty much spot on and getting out of the corner into P2. So again, now we're going to try and get on the power and try and hunt after P1. However, like I say, we've now only done 2 laps of driving at this track, so we're not exactly up to speed yet. Blue Racer gives us a bump, the bump from behind. He probably thinks that we're going to be faster than what we are to start with, but we're going to probably pick up pace as the race goes on, as we get more and more used to the combination. But you can see P1 actually pulling away a little bit there, up to 1.1 seconds ahead of us. And now we're going to go into this section, which is actually really good for the RCZ. This is where the RCZ, once you're used to the car, is actually quite strong, because it's got really good traction, it's got really good rotation, and it really does suit the way these corners are. And the gearing's actually pretty good for this section as well in the RCZ. So yeah, if you're looking for something different, Porsche, RCZ, all pretty good round here. The Supra is not everyone's favourite type of Group 3 car, so if you do struggle with that, give the RCZ a go, you might enjoy it. So we go over the line, you can see there we've got Blue Racer still right behind us. Now as we come onto the straight here, he's going to get the slipstream, and I knew he was going to try and overtake us because at this point our pace was terrible. However, we go brake just past 100 ball, we brake pretty much on the limit of the braking marker, and Blue Racer brakes a little bit late there, you see, runs a little bit wide, and that's going to lose him momentum, and you can see we've managed to break the slipstream now. So yeah, from that point onwards, it was just a case of can we catch up to P1. Now our pace was awful, you can see we were 2 seconds behind. Lap 4 we managed to gain 4 attempts on the leader and get a personal best lap and also fastest lap of the race. It was only a 30.1, but we're starting to find a little bit of pace. So final lap now, we're just going to see if we can catch him up, push him to the limits. We're 1.5 seconds behind him, and you never know, if we can pick up that slipstream, we might be able to put up a bit of a battle at the end of the race. But like I say, we've got 1 lap to try and gain 1.5 seconds, so it's going to be very, very difficult from here. But we're driving pretty well into the apex, staying in 3rd gear in the RCZ. on the throttle nice and early, and then just pick your braking point for this next right hand corner, which I just brake just before the 50 board on the left hand side there, just in between the 150, down to third gear, let the car coast a little bit, get on the power as early as you can, let it run onto the curb on the left, then down to second gear nice and early so you can rotate the car over the curb, and then just a little burst of throttle in second gear through here, get it back into the apex on the throttle nice and early, and work your way up into the next braking zone, which I use that little bit of green Astro on the left hand side, down to first gear, little burst of throttle again before upshifting to second gear, and again through here just give it a little lift just to get the car rotating through the corner, early upshift to fourth gear, and again braking just before the 50 board on your right hand side there, and brake a little bit before it so you get a nice ability to rotate the car on this final corner up to third gear. And you can see we've actually gained quite a bit of time on the leader there. We actually caught him up another 3 tenths, and we go over the line with another purple lap. So not the worst race, but yeah, we probably could have had a good battle with P1 if we would have been a bit more used to the combo straight away. But yeah, I'd only done 1 lap time trial practice, so that was pretty much our pace at that stage. So next race we have Circuit de la Sarthe in the Red Bull X 2019. Now you might have saw us practicing this, and I did say I'd put my money on either this or the Zonda R and is this car. So yeah, standing start, traction control on level 1. Let's see what happens. Now you're going to see a lot of chaos in this race because it is a little bit of a difficult car, although I actually quite like it. And yeah, so a lot of people do struggle with this, especially with traction zone. So we got the inside there into the braking zone and just trying to stop the car before the chicane. We can see that we're up into P12, I think it is there. And on the exit there, we've got 2 cars that have a little bit of contact, and luckily we go right in between them and up into P10. So again, into this next section, be careful of the dirty air in this car because it will lose you a lot of grip, and it will also give your rear tyres a good workout. And luckily, we saw that happening in front of us, stay to the right hand side of the track, and we gain another 2 positions. Out of that corner, we get a really nice run, and we're going to get past P7, and we're up into P7 already. So pretty nice start to this daily race C in the Red Bull X 2019. And this is a no-stop race. You do not need to pit. It's just a complete flat-out race to the finish. And you see there, we've got the slipstream to P6, and that is going to be another position gain on the start of this race. So up into P6, pretty nice start. Do be prepared for a lot of chaos in this race. As you can see ahead of us, 1 car misses his braking. They're going side by side. He's probably going to get a penalty for that. He went right over the curb. Although, it looks like he's got away with it. So maybe there was contact with the other car. So that is one thing to remember. If there is contact going into a corner and they push you wide, often you can go over and cut a little bit and get away with it because the game knows that you've been hit. So it's not 100%, but a lot of the time you can get away with it. But into the braking zone, braking just short of that 100 board on the right hand side there, and nice and smooth through here. Early upshift to third gear, then an early upshift to fourth gear on the exit, and now we're in the slipstream to P5. Can we see if we can get ourselves up into a podium position before the end of lap 1? That would be pretty insane. But we're working our way up now. We've got a nice slipstream to the driver in front. We've got side-by-sides going on up ahead. I'm having a little look down the right-hand side just so I can see where I'm braking. And we're going to stay to the left-hand side, brake nice and early, and try and do a bit of a cut back on the right-hand side here. So we managed to get a reasonable exit, but we had to back out because we had the Spanish driver on our left and we didn't want to end up hitting the rear of his car and spinning him. But we got the slipstream now, and then the Spanish driver is going to come over to our side of the track, which is a bit weird because he had the slipstream to the car in front, so all he has to do is stay in the slipstream. So again, we go to the right-hand side, and he's going to go all the way to the right-hand side to try and block that one. He's a very peculiar driver, this Spanish driver in front of us. I decided to back out of it because I wasn't 100% confident in this Spanish driver in front of us. We can see that one driver's gone off, so we're up to P5 again. We have a little look on the inside there. He shuts the door there, we back out, and now we're going to try and get a better exit off this tight right-hand corner, the 90 degrees right. So we're working our way up this hill now, and this is really strange. I don't know why he does this. He's got the slipstream to P3. We go to the right side of the track, and he just tries to push us into the barrier. Again, just ends up taking himself out. So a little bit of karma for that driver there, and I was actually quite smiling. I was smiling quite hard there, I have to say. So watch it again. We go to the right-hand side of the track to do an overtake. He's got the slipstream. All he has to do is stay in the slipstream, but he tries to cut us off and push us into the barrier. And he does a massive fail and wipes himself out. He ends up right at the back of the grid, down in like P14 or something. And I was laughing quite hard at that moment there because that was 100% karma for the Spanish driver. All he had to do was stay in the slipstream to P3 and we wouldn't have been able to get past him anyway, but he decided to push us into the barrier and absolutely failed at that moment. So now we're up into P4 and we're catching up to P3. Let's see if we can gain on P3 and maybe catch him up onto the back straight. That'll be where we want to try and get in the slipstream for the long straight at the start of the lap. So through here, nice and smooth, down to second gear. You can cut quite a lot off this corner, but at the moment I'm not that confident with what I can do. So just taking it nice and easy as we go over the line to start lap 2. It's quite crazy that all that has just gone on in one lap. So we're up into P4 and we're only on the start of lap 2 now. So let's see what we can do as we come through here, trying to be very careful on the track limits. Again, with this track you have to be cautious. One thing is, if you don't get penalties in this race, you're going to gain positions, because so many people will be picking up half a second penalties here and there, 1 second penalties here and there. So keep it nice and smooth again through this section. Very difficult section this, especially when you're following someone. You can see our rear end starting to lose traction there, but we've got the nice run off that final corner. We're in the slipstream to P3, so all we should have to do now is just follow behind him, and we should be able to get ourselves up into the podium position. And it doesn't look like he's going to fight this too much. You can see he stays in the racing line, lets us go down the inside. We're going to go up into P3, and that's a podium position for us in this daily race C at Circuit de la Sarthe. So again, into the braking zone, braking just short of the 100 board there, down to third gear, down to second, then back up to third, get the rotation, and then just short shifting to fourth as you come out the exit there to work your way onto the straight. You can see as we come onto the straight, we nearly managed to break the slipstream. We actually do break it, but I think maybe I upshifted too early or something. But yeah, he's back in the slipstream as we work into the next braking zone, but he should be out of that slipstream if we can get a good exit, because like I say, dirty air on this track is very, very annoying. You will lose a bit of time when you're following other drivers. So again, through this really fast flowing chicane, and we're up into, still in P3, and we've broke the slipstream. So we're going to skip ahead now to the end of lap 2, and as we come through here, we can see that the leader has obviously gone too aggressive into this final sector, and he's been reset right in front of us there. So that's a little bit disappointing for the leader of the race. And we're now up into P2, so pretty good for us. Lap 2, start of lap 3, and we're up into P2 in this race. Fastest lap of the race so far there. Not a particularly great lap, I have to say. We're just trying to figure this track out still. And now into the braking zone, we're going to try and hunt down P1. So as we come through here, just again, being ultra cautious on the track limits. You can see I'm not really taking any risks through there. And then as we come through this section, this is the real difficult section. You've got to be careful through here, especially when the tyres start wearing on the rear. As you can tell by P1, losing control of that rear and out into the barrier. So that is a freebie for myself, and we're up into P1 in this daily race C. So from that point onwards, we were driving all right. We're just keeping it nice. We weren't really pushing too aggressive, but this really made me realise you've got to be careful. So into this left-hand corner, massive moment. We upshift to fifth there to catch the drift, and luckily that upshift to fifth managed to save the car, and we keep on our way in P1, but it loses us quite a big amount of time and momentum. But yeah, on to the final lap now, and you can see that we've got the gap to around 3 seconds. We're on a pretty good lap at this point, and 4 tenths ahead. Just taking it nice and smooth through here, not overdriving the car, being cautious of them rear tyres, because you can feel the rear tyres starting to fade a bit with this combo in the X2019. So yeah, looking behind though, we can see that the car behind has had a bit of a moment behind us. You can see he's actually disappeared and he's rage quit. So he's obviously had a big crash behind us. We'll take a look at that now as we go over the line, and we managed to get the fastest lap again of the race, 3:20. Not a very fast lap, but we'll take that. Let's have a look at what happened for Sniffing for Farts, an unusual name. But yeah, he obviously smelt one, and he's straight into the barrier there. And yeah, he ends up rage quitting. Not very happy with himself, quite annoyed, and he's out of the race. So yeah, entertaining week. I do like Daily Race C. We've had it before, this combination, but I do enjoy it. Standing starts are always fun. It's a shame there's no strategy, but I think it's going to be an enjoyable week anyway again. So yeah, look forward to doing more streams. Thanks again for watching this video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you for more videos and live streams soon. Thanks again, everyone.